What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Curious Cat. Today's video is going to be about the silver market. We've had some massive moves in silver this week. We've had a 20% rise in the price of silver in only 1 week, which is just tremendous. We haven't seen this kind of action in the silver markets for years. And basically, we also had the 10-year lower trend line of the gold-silver ratio just become breached today. So that is a big sign that the price of silver is about to soar, and I think the value of silver is going to grow exponentially and even more so than the price of gold. So as we see a further decrease in the purchasing power of these government currencies, we're seeing more and more flee to the precious metal market and to stuff like Bitcoin and crypto. So silver, in my opinion, is a tremendous investment. It's kind of been the most hated investment of the last 10 years. Very few people were buying it. It's one of the only assets that didn't inflate with all of this inflation from the money printing over the last 10 years. It kind of held its value. It was consolidating at tremendous lows. And so in my opinion, it's just pretty much one of the most undervalued assets on the planet at the moment. And I just see huge potential in the silver markets as stuff like gold and Bitcoin just get pushed out of reach for most. The beautiful thing about Bitcoin, of course, is you can buy any amount. You don't need to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy $10 worth. However, there's still a lot of the boomers and stuff that aren't familiar with Bitcoin or crypto. So I think they're going to flee to something more traditional like precious metals as a hedge against rising inflation. And I think that's why we've seen some pretty big moves in real estate over the past while. Is a lot of people, they don't want to be in dollars because of the crazy inflation we're experiencing. So a lot of people have been dumping their money into real estate. However, I see that everyone's kind of all in on real estate, and when all the eggs are in one basket, you know what happens. So to me, I think silver has kind of been overlooked by many, and I see huge potential. I don't see massive potential in real estate at the moment just because the prices are so overinflated already that it's kind of out of reach for your average person. And now that the banks are tightening up their lending practices, very few people are going to have the ability to get exposure to the real estate market. So that only leaves a few places to go: gold, silver, Bitcoin, that kind of stuff, if you want to hedge against this inflation. So with the price of gold being so high, all-time highs, basically most people can't afford even a single ounce of gold. And here in Canada, the largest bullion dealer that we have, just a few weeks ago I called and they wanted a $10,000 minimum order. Well, most people just don't have that kind of cash to invest. So that leaves them with only a couple of places to go. Now they have Bitcoin or they have silver. And with Bitcoin being so new and kind of very few understanding it, I think a lot of people will go for a more traditional hard asset like precious metals. So I think a lot of people in the next bit are going to be essentially buying silver and gaining exposure to the silver markets. And I'm a big fan of physical bullion. I like to have it in my possession. I have some stocks, but I really don't like that game. It's really rigged with the high frequency trading. And I also don't like the fact that it's still, your capital's still tied up in one of these banks and there's still capital control. They can control how much you can take out, how much you can move it around. And if we have any issues in the traditional banking system, your money's stuck in these institutions and you have a hard time getting it out. Where if you have physical bullion in your possession, you have some kind of physical asset that you can barter with. And with the price of silver, a single ounce being around $30, it's really a great value to barter with. You could go and buy a couple chickens off your neighbor or something if it really came down to it. But a single ounce of gold being, worth a couple of $1,000s, you need a big ticket item if you're looking to barter for that. And I realize they do have smaller denomination, 1/10 of an ounce rounds in gold, but even that, $200 for one tiny little 1/10 of an ounce round of gold, you need to still be buying a higher ticket item. So I see silver having more of a potential as a monetary metal. And I also see it as a hedge against these digital assets like Bitcoin, because if we ever have a problem in the crypto market, say they regulate exchanges, or if we have like a major internet outage or something like that, or a major hack, I think a lot of people are going to get scared away, and you still want to have something to barter with, something that you can barter for food or gas or resources of some kind. So to me, that's why I like silver. I like the value, I like its barterability, and I like that it's essentially going to act like cash. As all these governments are pushing for these cashless societies, cash is going to become a thing of the past. So we have a lot of the criminals and stuff like that that basically were earning all kinds of money in cash and burying cash, stacking it away, and you can't keep it in banks. So they've just been burying all this cash. But the governments are going to come in and ban it in the next few years, in my opinion. And you don't want to be holding a bunch of cash when that happens. You want to get out of the cash ahead of time. So that's why I'm a believer that you should be diversifying, and you should get yourself some silver, because they can't just ban silver. It'd be very hard. There's always going to be people that want silver, and government currencies are a different thing. It's just a piece of paper or a digit in a bank account, a digital number. So it's not even a physical asset in most cases. And so that can lose value very quickly. Those government currencies, the only thing holding their value is people's belief in that value or their confidence in that dollar. However, physical silver has over 10,000 different industrial applications, and as the price rises, you'll see a lot of these corporations that use it in their products. So like Apple phones or Tesla and all their sensitive electronics, Mac computers, all the solar panels, they all have little bits of silver in them. So these big companies will actually come in and start buying silver in large quantities to hedge against the rising cost of that asset. So that's some of the reason why I see silver, the price of silver soaring in the next couple of years. And like I said, we also saw the gold silver ratio. It looks like it's capitulating and the lower trend line has been broken. So I think silver is the sleeping giant. I think we're going to see the price performance outperform that of gold, and I think we'll see a massive flee to the silver markets and stuff like that. So I think it's a great time to have some exposure to that. And like I said, with the price being so low, it's really accessible to just about anyone. When you get paid, you can just go and buy an ounce at a time if you like, put $30 in and buy yourself a silver round, and that's something you could just tuck away under your mattress, and it's just kind of a nice way to create a bit of a savings account for yourself, and you have more security that it's not just going to lose value like these phony government currencies that they're just choosing to inflate away. So I'm keeping a close eye. It looks like silver's set to soar here. We had some upper price resistance levels that breach here in the last week. We had this gold silver ratio break, the lower trend line. So that to me is showing a trend reversal, and I think that silver is set to soar. So I'm glad I've been buying over the last few years while everyone was selling, and it was kind of the most hated asset. I'm a believer. I'm a bit of a contrarian, so I like to buy when there's blood in the streets, and then I like to sell when there's all the hysteria and everyone wants in and everyone thinks that the price is just going to go sky high. So that's when I'll be selling a bunch of my silver and trading it in for other assets like gold and real estate, right when a lot of people are looking to actually sell their real estate as they're overexposed to these debt markets. They'll be selling, a lot of the boomers will be selling, looking to downsize and increase their cash position to basically afford the rise in inflation. So I'm going to play that trend and be transferring or selling some of my silver and transferring them into these other assets while that big cycle takes place. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found value in it. Please hit like on the video, share it with friends and family. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in future videos. Hope you guys are doing well and enjoying this beautiful sunny day.